One way to make your presentation slideshow more appealing and more attractive to viewers is to vary up or use some different backgrounds to catch their eye or to catch their attention. There's a couple different ways to control the background. Now let me be clear what I mean by that. We're talking about here with the background is basically what the page looks like in the back. So right now our background is white, all right? And it's a very simple design. And not that you can't go with white, but most of the time, to most viewers, a black and white presentation looks pretty bland. And maybe to many it might even be boring. And so to kind of to jazz up your slideshow a little bit, we can do a couple different things as far as incorporating some backgrounds. So let's first talk about using a theme in the background. Now, you actually chose a theme when you started your slideshow, so that's something you can do at the beginning, but you can also go in and change it as time goes on here. So let me show you some of the controls with themes. What we're going to do is go up here to the top where the slide menu is, and down here where it says change theme is where you can go to apply a theme. So if you click on that, this looks very much like what you saw when you started your slideshow here. And I'm just going to pick a different theme here than the white one. I'm going to go down here to steps. Now I want you, or to the steps theme, but I want you to watch here. Not only will the background change, but some other things will change as well. So as I hit OK here, not only did it change my background, but for the most part, there are a few exceptions here. It also changed the color and my kind of font here. So you do have to be aware of that if you go in and you apply a theme, that it may change more than just the background. It may change your font as well, but that's okay. Match is okay. I may have to, like I said, sometimes it doesn't always change all the fonts, depending on when you made the text box. Maybe you erased the original text box and put a new one in, so on and so forth. So you may have to go in and kind of change some things so that it looks good with what you have going on here. The other thing you'll notice is that when you apply a theme, the title slide will have a slightly different look than the other slides after it. If you notice here, for example, there's some yellow and pink in the title slide here in the design, where you don't see that here now in the other slides that are part of this presentation. If you want to change that, you can do that. If you go up here to the top, you can go in and go to where it says background or theme here. Actually, no, you can't go in there. Sorry. If you go in here, it should allow you to do that. Actually, it may not. So what you could do, if you didn't want a different theme for your title slide, is you could erase that slide, go up here to where the add button is, and then click one of the click the style of background that you want for the title slide. For example, if I wanted to match the rest of my slides, I could click this and then just drag it over and delete that title slide. So some people like that. Most people just rather leave it the way it is. But in case you wanted to match here, you could delete this slide, or add a new slide, copy and paste everything over, and then delete that original title slide if you didn't want it to be different from the other ones. I hope that made sense. All right, so that's one thing you can do, is apply a theme. And you can always go in and change the theme. Notice that the controls are here as well. Now, they don't show up when you're in text editing mode, but they are here. So you can go in here, and let's say you didn't want this theme. Let's say you wanted the sketched theme. You want to take a look at that look like. So you hit OK, and it will change it to that. Okay, but again, you may have to go in and do some other things. I'm going to leave it the way it was by just hitting the previous button up here. Okay, or the undo button. All right. Now, there's some other things you can do besides themes. Let's say, for example, we want to go to our last slide here, and maybe you didn't want it in a theme. Maybe you just want it in a color. Okay? What you can do is go up here to background or to slide and change background. Okay? Both will get you the same menu. If you click on that, you'll notice that there are a couple things that you can do. First item you can do is you can apply a color, just a straight color. All right, there's some custom colors down here, some different theme colors. These are part of your existing theme. But let's say I wanted like a green, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this. and you can see what it looks like in the background there. I'm a little darker green, so I'm going to go down here to a darker one. Okay, and you hit apply there, and now you can see that the background has changed. Now the only difference here is you notice that some of the theme pieces still stayed. So even though the background is now green, these stayed in here. Now that doesn't always happen, but it happens on some. Okay, but you can play around with the color there as a different way, as a way of making a few slides stand out. Now I will caution you on, well, let me get to that in a second. Let me finish up the other thing that I was going to show you here. The final item that I was going to show you what you can do for background, if you wish, is you can insert an image. Notice that here it says image. I can go here and choose an image, and I did download one earlier here, so I'm going to go ahead and drag this one in, or you could click the choose button. But either way, you can insert a background image. And then notice now that it put it as the background. Now, the one thing I was going to tell you too is if you wanted your changes to apply to all, let's say you wanted that green there when you did that, you could click apply to all, and it will change it on every one of the slides. Okay, we're not doing that right now, but apply to all with this image, for example. If I were to click that, all the slides in my slideshow presentation would have the weather map as the background. Okay, so we can change colors, we can add images, and we can pick themes as ways to vary up our backgrounds. Now, a couple words of caution here. First of all, you notice here, for example, when you use an image, okay, you have to be careful because images have lots of different colors in them. And so right now, I may be hard-pressed to find a color. Right now, you can't see my text very well, okay? And it may be difficult with an image to find a color that stands out. I'm going to try purple here and just see what that looks like, okay? And that does okay, but again, you can see where, you know, it is a little bit harder to see with that image because the image in the background will, you know, make it hard to see certain letters in the words here because it's darker. And because the image colors change as you look at the picture, you know, there's different colors on the screen here, it makes it a little bit hard to see text. Whereas if you just go with one color, okay, it's a lot easier to see the text. So that's one thing to keep in mind there with that. So anyhow, those are your different options when it comes to background. So take a look at those. Make sure you check the rubric for your assignment to see what the requirements are for you know, your backgrounds and what we're looking for there as far as what your abilities are in using backgrounds.